In this video, we'll talk about two tools that make ideas much easier to remember and use: elaboration and generation. But first, let's briefly recap what we learned in the last video. Difficulty is your friend when learning. There's something called desirable difficulty, which is basically the right amount of difficulty. If your study session feels too easy, you're probably not learning effectively. If it is impossibly hard, you might not be learning at all. So, with that out of the way, elaboration. Elaboration, let's start by defining it. Elaboration basically means that you explain an idea in your own words and you connect it to things you already know, right? You elaborate between concepts and you make these connections and these networks. Generation means that you try to come up with an answer or an explanation before you see the official one. In our reference book, Make It Stick, the authors share a classic study. People studied word pairs like foot, shoe. For one group, the pair was shown fully each time. For another group, they had to generate the second word from a cue like foot before seeing the answer. Later, when both groups were tested, the people who had to guess the missing word, they remembered more than the pairs of those who just reread the full words. Forcing your brain to come up with an answer, even with a strong hint, led to better long-term memories than simply re-exposure. Behind elaboration, there's a similar body of work. In one experiment, researchers had students read technical passages and then either just move on or answer questions like, "Why is this true?" and form their own analogies to explain the statements. The students who had to elaborate, link each idea to an explanation or analogy, later remember much more of the material and were better at applying it to new questions than those who just read the text. And Make It Stick, the authors give some examples around this. So, for instance, to understand angular momentum, think of a figure of a skater spinning faster when she pulls her arms in. This is a classical example. Well, every single time somebody taught me this in school, they use this example. But another one is to understand different heat transfer modes. Compare warming your hands on a mug to sunlight through a window or air through a vent that's coming your way. Those concrete images hook the abstract ideas into your everyday experience. Now let's use the same idea for the engineering applications that we talked about in this channel. Let's say you're learning heat transfer through walls and insulation. You can treat it as a pile of formulas, or you can elaborate. Imagine a house in the winter. Warm air is inside, cold air is outside. There are several layers between each of them. Each layer, like plaster, brick, insulation, they resist the heat flow. So, in your own words, you might say, heat is trying to leak from the warm room to the cold outside. And each layer acts like a barrier. The thicker, the more insulating layer, the harder it is for heat to get through. That is a elaboration. It may sound simple, but it turns the table significantly. So turning, the abstract symbols into physical story that your brain is better at relating. Now let's add generation to that. Before you look at any word solution, look at the wall and ask yourself a few questions, and then actually write your guesses down. So some examples might be, if I double the thickness of the insulation, will the heat loss through the wall have decreased a bit, but not by half, or almost not change? If I were to swap the brick in the insulation layer, does the total heat transfer change or stays basically the same? Which layer will have the biggest temperature drop, the plaster, the brick, or insulation? Only after you've written your predictions, then you compute the thermal resistances, add them to the series, check your answers. Even when your guesses are wrong, and this is critical, the act of predicting, that is, the act of generating, makes the correct explanation stick more because your brain is now trying to compare it to your original prediction. How to apply this in your study? First, after learning a new concept, Do a one-sentence explanation in your own words. This is something that we've applied in different units that I taught. We even had something called a 1-minute paper, in which whenever we, introduce a new important concept, we would stop the class and give students 1 minute to write it down in their own words what that concept meant, what they understood by it. Um, we also did a lot of, in one-on-one tutorials on this, and this is a great place for you to utilize your professor or your tutor. Great place, because you can come up with your explanations and you can check with them. That's something that they're great, a great resource for. You actually explain your understanding and they can check and make sure that whatever you explain makes sense or not, and they can correct any mistakes that you've made. Your AI assistants can probably do a good job of that too, though I don't fully trust them yet. So after that, the second thing you can do is force a prediction before you see the solution. So before turning the page to the work problem, before pushing play here at Engineering Hack, you write down what you expect. Will adding insulation increase or decrease the heat loss? Which layer should show the largest temperature drop? What happens if you put two insulating layers in parallel? So for instance, what if there's mortar here in addition to the bricks? 3. Build analogies. For each new idea, ask, what is this like? Electrical resistances versus thermal resistances. A network of resistors versus a composite wall with series and parallel conduction paths. That web of connections is elaboration. These two habits, the habit of explaining and predicting, don't take much time, but they change how deeply ideas lodge in your brain. So remember to use them often to generate and to elaborate.